Hi there, I'm Trista for Congress and Sheriff and President. I'm your interim president, and I'm keeping my voice low because we're in the law library. This is part 2, and we're on the letters of support. They were just saying that people brought me birds. My friend Marty brought me birds because she knew that the animals would be well cared for and have an open range sort of situation. So I'm trying to, and this is another letter of support. I allowed this guy, my former bandmate's Will, and his 100-year-old mother to live on the property and kind of like, live out her days. After she had a stroke, which is pretty nice person, eh? Duh. Anyway, so this guy had been on the property, and he saw that the birds were very tame in the past year and a half, and very well cared for. I've never witnessed them being abused or harmed in any way. They've always had fresh food and water. There's several places. They never run out of water. Also, the bird food and dog food dropped at the front gate by Walmart, and the food bank we go to always provide all types of fresh fruits and vegetables, and also dog food in bags and cans every week. I did witness one bird that Trista told me was under special care that got hurt from another chicken in the courtyard. She kept it inside her room on her desk while nursing it back to health. The birds were all well maintained, as Trista took care of them full-time 7 days a week. Trista does not leave the property except when I take her to the food bank, and also food has always been delivered from Walmart since COVID. I witnessed her water the animals several times throughout the day and replenish all the shallow water dishes, as she also waters the garden. From what I understand, the shallow water dishes keep the small ones from drowning. The birds only go in the enclosure at night for protection against predators to be safe, but during the day they are free to roam in the courtyard. They showed up on the 24th of August in 2023, acted in an aggressive manner. I have a recording, it's on my podcast, Politics AF. They came when my dog was already at the vet's office. Very, very disturbing. They threatened to arrest me because I declined to allow them to search my property without a warrant. Says Hank was bitten by a pig, so he was taken to the vet several times and also made to wear a cone collar. I personally looked at his wounds before he was taken to the vet, and although I'm not a vet, I never observed any maggots. There were no other issues with Hank or with any of the other animals whatsoever that I know of, but they continued acting aggressively, threatening to arrest Trista. And then when a Desert Storm veteran told these guys during the raid on the 30th that they didn't have probable cause or evidence to arrest me or take away my animals, they arrested him and took away his emotional service animal out of retaliation, more malicious prosecution. So here's another letter of support from my friend Sue's a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. And here's pictures of my animals. Here's my hanky.
That's right. Okay.
Look, it's so happy. Everybody was so happy. There's my service dog, which is a crime, by the way, interfering with a service dog. Here's my little champy, drink tea with me. These are $5,000 chicken I am Samanis, and these are my therapy service chickens. I was marketing and developing service chickens, therapy mini chickens. And $1,000 a piece, and all perfectly healthy, as you can see. Here they are rushing me on the stairs to say hi. And this is pack staging some cruelty, some neglect. This is before the raid, and this is after the raid. Before, after. 2 weeks later, in their custody. This is smoking gun evidence of PAC's own cruelty to my animals. They did this to take more incriminating photographs. That's my poor David Bowie. There's more smoking gun evidence that they lied in their reports, which is a crime. Clarissa, she signed off on this. Clarissa and Teddy signed off around 12 p.m. No, actually, Here's another smoking gun piece of evidence. This is a GPS timestamp video still taken by a Desert Storm veteran. Sorry, it's one of the worst copies. But, and here is Clarissa's report stating that it was around noon when it was timestamped at actually 8:37 in the morning when I was immediately arrested and deprived of due process, it's called. All this stemmed from, was swatted basically by someone I knew for 20 years, Beth Cummings and Zoe Skinner, who have still to this day avoided accountability for swatting me and for causing the cruelty against over like about 150 animals, and still the animals are being punished in packed jails. Anyways, so the veterinarian where the dog was taken is not reporting the incident. So this Bezach called from Phoenix, by the way, and she said that Hank's intestines were hanging out and that he was infested with maggots and stuff, which were outright lies because it was actually a larva. It was misdiagnosed. The vet was trying to get him on expensive cancer treatment scheduling, and but Hank didn't even have a fever. All he needed was that larva taken out, which is what they did. He needed some antibiotics and some rest and relaxation. That's what he needed. And he was put down without my informed consent, which is a crime. And then when I reported the police for excessive force and false reporting of Clarissa and Teddy Noon, the detective in the case, then this Edgar Nosek, the mental health coordinator at Pima County Sheriff's Department, he manufactured this petition to Judge Kenneth Lee, who rubber stamped it, and based on the fact that I had lodged a complaint with Internal Affairs, said I was yelling at the Sergeant Roar. No, I wasn't. Never even talked to him. Prove it, dude. And anyway, so that's retaliation. That's obvious retaliation right there. And also, she believes she is a good candidate for president of the United States. So what? Anybody is compared to this fool. Ha ha. And here's more smoking gun evidence of their malicious prosecution, not just of PCSD and Edgar Nosek and the detective in the case, but also the prosecutors going all the way up to Laura Conover in the district attorney's office. Because look, here's the toxicology report. They had to let me go in under 24 hours when they tried to lock me up in the psych ward until they could get a kangaroo court case going on, because 90% of all the DA's cases are convictions, so they were trying to herd me into psych wards to put me away when they couldn't put me in jail. And lastly, here's a bit of some grief counseling I did for about my Dr. Baker. If you guys want to help me rescue my animals, please send an email to monica.dingler@pima.gov. Thanks, and have a blessed day. Send thoughts and prayers. I get my service dog back. By the way, look, they call him a Doberman Pinscher. He ain't no Doberman Pinscher, you idiots. Oh, by the way, here's some smoking gun evidence about Teddy and Edgar shoving me into a patrol car and kidnapping me, basically. This is an involuntary commitment. This is posted all over social media, my YouTube channel. And involuntary commitment is a crime. Just see the Ron Davis case. He's in jail right now. He's in prison.